Welcome back to Gears and Glory, except this time we have two new gorgeous co-hosts. We have Brittany and we have Sofia.
Hello. Hello.
It was about time we got some co-hosts for this. So it's gonna be so much more fun now. Especially because we all did our podium predictions before Hungary. So it wasn't just me, and we all did realistic and dream podiums. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I don't know who wants to go first. Who wants to share theirs? Because these were kind of almost accurate, actually.
Okay. Well, I was shocked. I'll go first. I was a little surprised. I got the McLarens. I got everyone, but in the wrong order. So I got 3 points.
Yeah.
I don't know.
10.
My P1 had been Lando because I think he's due for another one. And then I had Max because you can never count him out. And then Oscar, which I very excited. Just very excited.
Yeah.
And then my unrealistic had been I'm just a girl dreaming was Nico first at the top because I feel like he needs to get his recognition that he's due. He's been absolutely killing it in the Haas.
Yeah.
Like consistent points. So I had him. I had Alonso as P2 because I don't know, in the wet weather, it had been so rainy. I don't really know, but the old dogs do it really well in the wet weather. And then just because I love him and he's a menace, I put K-Mag on there as P3 because like if Nico's gonna be my P1, like just have his bodyguard somewhere nearby.
Could you imagine though? Like just like a double Haas podium.
I think I would. I don't even know. As an American, I don't know.
Had to cry, had a breakdown.
Yeah, I'd get a
like
freaking Kevin Magnussen tattoo.
Yeah, we need to get both Hasses and Logan on the podium just for you before the
yeah, all American lockout.
That would be actually hilarious.
That'd be so funny.
Yeah.
Boy.
I think literally all our predictions were so similar because I also, for realistic, had Max, Lando, Oscar. So like it was almost reversed. If Max stayed on the podium, it literally would have been. No, I like that's kind of a talking point as well. I think we need to get into that after this. McLaren's little switcheroo there. I have thoughts.
Everyone had thoughts.
Yeah,
I think
on the radio all day
of what we're going to talk about will be McLaren.
All right, let's zip through these predictions. But yeah, I had Max, Lando, Oscar, and then my dream was Lewis, Max, Daniel, because I don't know if you guys saw that TikTok where they asked AI. That was, I don't know, maybe sent it to me, and that was the podium. So I was like, I trust AI.
But well, for a second,
gave the bill to Oscar.
For a sec, Danny was top of the in quali. He like was P1 for a second. For like a second, I was like, whoa, hold on. Is the unrealistic going to become realistic?
That would be absolutely insane. Could you imagine? We're overdue for a Daniel Ricciardo win again. Overdue.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, but we're overdue.
Not unless he takes Perez's seat, we will get a chance at a Deadpool. Daniel podium.
Close enough. Basically the same thing.
Welcome back, Deadpool.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I hope so. Like I feel bad for Checo as well, but also like I kind of want to see Danny take his seat just because.
Yeah. Danny or Liam.
Red Bull, you know what I mean?
Liam.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Last but not least, Brittany's podium predictions, which were pretty similar again. We were all on the same wavelength.
All on the same wavelength. My realistic was bang on. Sofia's realistic, I had Lando, Max, Oscar. And then my dream or unrealistic was Oscar, Charles, Daniel, which was pretty much just all my fave on the podium celebrating together.
You got Oscar right.
Yeah, partially.
Oscar right.
I perhaps manifested another win.
Between you and that dude who gave him the $5 bill, that was so funny.
Oh my God. That was hilarious.
We need to get him to every race from here out.
Yeah.
That was insane.
It was the same energy though as the video of Carlos in the car and the guy in the window is like P3 today, yeah, P3. Same energy.
Oh my God.
That was absolutely insane. Like Oh, I don't know. This weird like accidental manifestation. I love it. But we need
Yeah.
that. I wonder how shocked that bloke is though. Is he sitting there going like, what?
He needs to be interviewed.
I know. I'm gonna find him and be like, hey, let's chat.
Get him on the fan forum.
I don't know what I would do if that was me. I would literally be like, how did I just do that? Like, that's insane. And
Yeah.
more people. But yeah, Jesus. But McLaren switcheroo, I have the exact same thoughts as I did in Australia with Ferrari. I don't understand why Ferrari didn't swap Leclerc and Sainz in Australia. Leclerc would have overtaken the Drivers' Championship. Do you know what I mean? Like he would have been P1, even though it would have only been till the next race, he still would have been. And like the same sort of situation when Lando's chasing Max, I don't understand why they wouldn't do that. He needs every point he can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's tough because I think the strategy, I think it was the second pit stop where everything fell apart
Yeah.
because they were, I was listening to a different podcast. I was listening to my favorite not to plug another podcast on this podcast, but I was listening to Red Flags pod this morning and they were saying like
them.
If you hear us, I don't know, notice me. But they were saying like it's just got to be hard for like strategy to lose out and then to like have to undo that. Yeah. Because they were more worried about Hamilton than they should have been.
Yeah.
Because I think the fact of the matter is McLaren has the fastest car. Full stop. Yeah. I think McLaren has the fastest car on the grid right now. And it's coming down to maybe driver error sometimes. Maybe just strategy sometimes, which like I get happens. That's why it's a team and like that's why it's the sport that it is that we love. Yeah. But I think that was just such a huge strategy L that was so hard to walk back that they were literally like just they were like it was like I've been a juror in court once in my life and it felt like that. It was like you need to connect with your humanity and give him spot back. It's like, whoa, am I watching a breakup on live TV? Like I was like, like this is a lot of radio for me. They haven't been playing the radio a lot, and so it was like, it was just like, overwhelming.
Those radios, no words. Mad Max is back, baby.
He was so mad.
I really messed up that strategy, but also like you can win a couple wins, mate. You've got that big of a lead. I don't think anyone's catching you. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like no matter how fast McLaren is, I think it's another like maybe McLaren for constructors because Perez is absolutely ruining it for Red Bulls.
He's nowhere right now.
Yeah, literally. I'd be shocked if Max doesn't win the drivers though.
Yeah, I did laugh in quali just before Perez crashed out because Max was like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a better time than this or whatever, and GP asked him what he wanted to do or like why he thought that, and he just screamed like the rain, but his audio cut out. So it was like and GP was like, okay, calm down, Max.
I think they're so sassy to each other though.
I love them so much.
Funny. And I'm not even going to give you an answer, Max. I'm just going to let you sit there and think. That's childish.
He got put in timeout. Go to the corner. Like, literally. Oh my God.
And he was like, I'm not even going to get in a fight with another team on the radio, Max.
He's like, what do you want me to do, brother? Oh, they're so funny together. I swear to God, if GP ever fucking quits, I'm leaving with him because that duo cannot end. That is so funny.
No one else would be able to match or control Max.
No one can handle him. Absolutely not.
No, because the thing is, GP meets him word for word. Like he's just there. He's just like, okay, and
he's like, rude. Let me step in.
Yeah.
I love it. Absolutely.
But one of the things I thought was really funny was I was watching the Sky Sports, and so it was Crofty and Martin Brundle, and one of them was saying, I can't remember who was saying, like, oh, he like, that's like what you get for not sleeping all night, because he was doing like the 24 hours of spa sim because he's addicted to racing and can't put down a steering wheel for a second. And I was texting my friend Jack, shout out to my friend Jack. He said this. He was like, it's not because he didn't sleep. That's how Max is. He's just angry.
Yeah.
Like when he's not winning, he's just mad, which is what makes him a really good driver. Like he's so driven and committed and like focused, but also when he's not in a winning position and like in a car that might now be struggling that everyone else has caught up, like he gets mad. That's why he drives people off the track, which also when Lando followed his racing line and Max got pushed off the track, he's like, oh, we're just pushing people off the track now. I'm like,
yeah,
maybe we need to look in the mirror.
Yeah, just literally. I was like, yeah. Funny that. That's so I can't remember who it was now. Yeah. Someone was like, the Red Bull is a great car while it's leading, but as soon as it's around other cars, it's like it doesn't know how to like run. It's scared of other cars being around it. And it's so true. Like it's so dominant once it's ahead and like far ahead, but the second there's other cars around it, it's literally nowhere. Absolutely.
Yeah. I did get stressed at turn 1 when literally both McLarens and Max went into that corner in a row. Yeah. I was, what's happening?
I think the entire sports bar I was sitting in went, oh, collectively, just that like stress, like, oh, it was so funny. We had like, yeah, it was, oh, that sound, what that was like, that was stressful.
Well, and while we're talking about the Red Bull and turns and stuff, there was again another scrap between Lewis and Max. When we see Max, literally Red Bull gives you wings. That joke's not mine. I saw it on a meme today, but oh my God, the fact that he continued driving, I was like, oh, this is a DNF for sure.
No damage, no wing, no end plate, no wheel, like nothing.
Nothing.
I was shocked. Either car, both of them were just fine.
Yeah. I did think I was worried it was going to be a repeat of like, I think it was Silverstone where Max landed on Lewis's car a couple years ago. Yeah. I thought it was going to be a repeat.
Oh, Monza?
And I was like, yes, Monza.
They ended up parked up. Yeah.
And I was like, surely not. We can't actually have this happen again. But it didn't. And they kept driving and was on the podium. So
that was absolutely insane.
The fact that he kept going. That's I know. Because I saw the mark that the car left on the track behind him when he lands.
Insane.
Just like,
I don't get it.
And those cars are so fragile. I was like, except I guess for Max's is fucking Terminator.
I think they've like made that. Like they've spent extra like budget on Max's car. That's why Checo's like crumbled in Monaco. But like you can throw Max and then it's like undistressing. Yeah. But like he couldn't catch a Ferrari. How embarrassing.
No, well, I think that like accident was how Charles ended up finishing P4 is because that made Max drop like 2 places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Max.
Thank you.
Well, that was the thing, right? He was racing Lewis for third and I just passed Charles. And in that accident, he went off and Charles got the place back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I actually remember very clearly how upset I was. He passed Charles. I was like, no, we need something good.
Yeah, literally. I feel like everyone's going into that. Sorry, you go.
I was just going to say, if they did actually take each other out, well, if Max took Lewis out, Charles would have been on the podium.
I know.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah. We live and we learn. It's just so funny because I've literally for weeks been begging George Russell to take Max out into turn 1, and then Lewis like nearly took him out into turn 1. Well, like kind of Max out, but regardless.
George, I felt sorry for. George and Perez had a shit weekend.
Yeah.
Apologies for language, but they had a very bad weekend. They got the short end of the stick. Both out in Q1.
Insane.
Oh my God.
When I woke up and someone was like, George is in P17 or something, I was like, pardon? I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not like a George Russell fan, but like, I was like, huh? How?
Especially after the last 2 races. Like, he was doing well.
Yeah, literally.
I don't know where he ended up finishing though.
That's a good
I don't even know. I was just so overwhelmed by Oscar's first win.
P8.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's not bad at all. From where he started, because he was in 17th to 8th. Not bad.
Yeah. That is all right.
Solid effort.
Go GR.
Yeah, literally. Maybe I am a GR girly.
Are you in a place to talk about Gasly's DNF?
As I've said to every single person that has said, oh, Gasly's out, I said, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. The shock that ran through me, because like obviously he was so far, like he wasn't coming last. He was doing okay, but he was so far down the back that we didn't really speak about him. So then when they're all of a sudden like, oh, box to retire, I was like, excuse me? Like, no, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
So, and I think it stung because he was the only one to retire. Like, I had my money on Zhou Guanyu to be the first retirement on F1 Play. And, like, it didn't even happen. And I was like, okay, that one felt like karma or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe I won't be mean to the nice guy next time. But Alpine is driving me insane. And no, you know what it was? It was definitely karma because I met one of the dudes from BWT over the weekend and I was speaking to him and we like interviewed him. We were like, wet or dry track? And he was like, dry. And I was like, yeah, that's because Alpine's shit in the wet. And it was like somebody was like, actually, we're shit in the dry too.
Joke's on you.
I think, but yeah.
Literally the second that I saw him retire, I was like, oh no, Liv. Instantly thought of you.
Yeah, it was like 1:30 and I was like, why? Yeah.
That's the thing that I feel like that's what I kind of like about the quieter races. Like, no, I don't like seeing the same winner every time. Sorry, Max, love you. But like you get to watch so much of the race behind. Like P1 doesn't matter. Sometimes even P2, P3 doesn't matter. And I'm worried about like, oh my God, Yuki's gonna get in the points. Like I start worrying about that because at a certain point it's like that's what there is to worry about. But also like I care about them too. We're all best friends, you know?
So much fun. Yeah. I love the midfield battle.
Yeah, talking about the midfield, what about Aston Martin this weekend? Because there was a lot of drama happening there.
I didn't even see half of it. I'm going to be so honest with you. Do I want to know?
Both drivers were like beefing with the team from what I could see because they were just struggling so much.
Oh, there was a video I saw. I don't know what race it was from of like Alonso angry or something. I don't know if it was Hungary, but like if it was, then it would make sense.
Yeah, like I think they were testing a new setup. I don't know if it was during the race, but they were testing a new setup with Alonso's car or some new upgrades with Alonso's car during practice. And I think they wanted his feedback on it so they could roll it out to Stroll's car. And they were like, oh, Alonso, what are your thoughts? How would you feel? Or any tips for Stroll about these upgrades? And he just laughed and said, good luck. And I was like,
that's so funny though. That's not helpful, but that's so funny.
Yeah. And Stroll was like beefing with the team. He was like complaining about the strategy, the car setup. Like they were going through it.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even
they were not having
what are they called? V-carb. I hate calling them V-carb. But V-carb, apparently they had to revert to the Miami setup because it was so like shit this weekend.
Oh, I had not.
That's why they had a terrible like weekend. Well, like they had an okay weekend, like Denny P9, but like the race was terrible. They had to go back to Miami setup apparently.
Wow.
I mean, like I don't know how true that didn't come from them, but
yeah. I mean, speaking of car setups and things that didn't come from the team, I was watching, I don't know if I sent it to you guys or not, but I was watching Instagram Reels and it was some Spanish channel that was commentating the race and they were talking about why like the Red Bull has kind of taken not necessarily not continued, like maybe not continue to take steps forward instead of taking a step back, I should say. So that apparently from two teams they had heard that the RB had something on it that was illegal and they had been asked to remove it by the FIA and that's why now everyone is that much closer.
Really?
No, I had that sense as well. Yeah, because that's probably why they went for McLaren as well then. They were like, well, if you're going to like come for us, let's go for somebody else to try and take it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They are so funny. I love it.
That makes sense why they were like, oh, check McLaren.
Yeah.
Because I didn't say that about
it doesn't surprise me.
About Red Bull protesting McLaren or whatever.
Well, I mean, I feel like Christian Horner, the second he's not winning, is like, well, everyone else's car is cheating then.
Yeah.
Which like is part of the game. Like, fortunately or unfortunately, it does make it very interesting.
Yes.
But like, isn't so much about merit.
As soon as Red Bull started to get faster, Mercedes were like, check
actually,
I have it printed out.
Oh my God. No, literally.
No, but
I
like,
must say,
we're gonna go without bloody Nui. Like, do you know what I mean? They're struggling already, and
yeah,
they're still technically there.
yeah, because he is completely hands off now, isn't he?
Yeah, because
Like with development, just like maintaining.
Yeah, because I think the deal was, he had to finish the hypercar before he could go.
Oh,
But unveiled at Goodwood, so
yeah.
maybe back. Will we ever see him again? But did you see that Jeremy Clarkson was like, I can personally tell you that he's not house hunting in Maranello, he's house hunting in River.
But I'm wondering if that's a little bit of a play, because if they are super close, why would he like out Nui like that?
Yeah, because part of me is like, that's very Jeremy Clarkson to do, but also at the same time, I'm like,
he's never going to tell you anything ever again.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
You've lost his trust.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm still up in the air. I do think that he'll go to Audi.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Like
I wonder what he's going to do in the meantime.
I feel like if you have a mind like his. Sorry, go ahead.
I think he might go back to Williams even. Could you imagine? Help them with their like up and coming, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you have a mind like his, like I feel like you want a project to stay stimulated, like to be able to like mold something like it's clay, you know.
Yeah. I guess that kind of leaves him to go anywhere though, because other than like Red Bull or McLaren, obviously, because McLaren's doing really well. He obviously left Red Bull for a reason. But like, get Ferrari back on track, please. Like, we need the help.
Help see him at Ferrari.
It would be so good. And like, I mean, he spoke about wanting to like work with Lewis. So I'm like, can that drag you over? Even if it's just for a couple of years, just help us for a bit. Like,
iconic driver, iconic team, two birds, one stone. It's the perfect time.
That'd be so good.
The door is open.
Yeah. No, but I feel like you're right. I feel like he'd aim for like a lower sort of team that's really struggling. But then like the sort of question with that is, because they're such like a smaller team, do they have the budget for him? You know, because I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Williams is like, if James Vowles is like, well, we have like Carlos Sainz in our pocket, so like if they can say that, because isn't they have the spend cap, right? But there's like a certain number, like a handful of like employees that are allowed to be paid above the spend cap, right?
I think so.
That's
I don't know
my understanding of it. I don't know. I guess I'll need to fact check that. But like they could, one of those people could be Nui.
Yeah.
If they could, you know, it's like an old team. Like I'm sure they have like legacy bonds.
He did it once again, right?
But also, I'm like, they could.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they could offer me like scraps, and I'd be like, yes, I'll work for you, Williams.
Really? I can't pay you, but like I can give you like a thanks, a hug. I'd be like, yeah.
Give you a Christmas.
Yeah, literally. And I'd be like, yes, sold.
Yeah.
No, literally, speaking of Deadpool, sorry, Britt, you were gonna say something.
Oh no, that's fine. I was gonna say, Aston probably could, or they could definitely afford Nui, but I don't think that Nui would work with Stroll, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like
well, he said that he doesn't like Lawrence. He openly said that he's not going down. Unless it was like a fake and I'm just like really gullible and fell for it. Apparently, he openly said that he does not like Lawrence Stroll and refuses to work with him. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because what I saw ages ago was that he was refusing Aston Martin, he was refusing Mercedes, and then he was like, although I like Zach Brown, I'm not going to McLaren. So I'm like, at this point, I think bro's just going to retire and he's just pulling us along for a ride.
Yeah, maybe.
Honestly, what a way to go.
He's so old. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you've had a good innings. I think you've got time to retire, mate.
He's earned it for sure after everything he's done. Don't they? I think they call him the man who can see air.
Yeah.
Because of how good he is.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I don't understand how his brain like works like that. I can't even do simple addition without a calculator. Like, and this man is just out here building hypercars.
Like, he's aero. Yeah, that's he's like,
I was driving
aerodynamics. He is aerodynamics.
I was driving the other day and there was a leaf coming at me, and the leaf went like over my car, and I was like, wow, oh my god, aerodynamic. It like finally clicked. I was like, and that's what they do in the wind tunnel, huh?
It's like when you drive through rain and like only the front and top of your car is wet and like the sides and the back aren't. And you're like, wow.
Riddle me that. You know what, Adrian Newey, riddle me that.
Oh, and tell me how that works, please. You know it all.
That, Nui.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. But oh my god. Crazy. There's a lot happening.
There's so much
for
more. Like even
for a race to start our podcast on, like our cameo. Good race.
Yeah. Right. This is a way to start. You watch. We're gonna like because Spa's next, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Ugh.
That'll be interesting. Let's be so real.
It always is.
It's always good. Oh, I'm still angry about last year's Spa. That's where my like slight dislike for Carlos came into play, because that's where his vengeance against bloody Oscar Piastri started.
Oh my god, Carlos was also beefing this weekend with someone in the Haas in free practice.
Oh,
they were
like, complaining about the traffic though.
I think there were a few occasions, or maybe it was just once, and I'm literally dramatizing it. But that's
what we're here to do.
Battled each other, like one overtook one, and then one overtook the other, and it was like, bro, it's free practice. Calm down. I was like, why, Carlos? Stop beefing.
He just wants to like. I wholeheartedly believe he does not have anywhere to go next year. He's playing up this confident, like, yeah, I've got so many offers. So other teams go, shit, what are we missing? Let's make him an offer. He has nowhere. Yeah. He's going home.
Yeah.
I've said it since the beginning. I don't know who would want him.
I still reckon he is going to Audi, but I think he's left it too late to announce a seat for next year at one of the top teams, i.e. Mercedes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you see Kimi Antonelli in the Mercedes garage? Very interesting.
Yeah. And especially Kimi had a quite decent weekend in the F2 sprint. So like I feel like it could actually happen. Like I still kind of hope he doesn't go to Mercedes. I don't think he's ready. Anything against him, I just don't think.
Potentially it'll be a George Russell 2.0. So before the super license news came out about that, like altering of the age limit, or age restriction, what my original thought was with Kimi was that they'll sign him to Williams for a year, put Carlos in Merc for a year, see how Kimi goes in an F1 car, and then Carlos will go to Audi 26, Kimi will go to Mercedes, and it will be a George Russell 2.0.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of thought that, but then I've heard so much about Valtteri Bottas going to Williams.
Really?
Yeah. And then I also heard that like with the testing Kimi has done in F1 cars, that's where he's performed and that's why they're interested. So like if he's not doing well, it's like I guess Ollie Behrman, he's not doing great in the F2 championship this year. They're in the F1
but he's still in the points.
Yeah.
Like he's still in the constructors or in the drivers championship list.
But I think Prem is the issue. Like they can't pull off their pit stops at the moment. I don't know what's going on with Prema. They used to be so good, and now all of a sudden, like this F2 season, even F3, Dino Begenovic isn't doing great either. Like, do you know what I mean? So I feel like something's going on with Prema. But then I'm like, maybe if they do just chuck Kimi into the Mercedes, he'll be fine. Like if he's doing well in testing, it's like the Daniel Ricciardo situation. Everyone's like, he's doing terrible in like AlphaTauri. I mean, VCarb. He's doing terrible in it. I'm like, yeah, okay, but he earned that seat back because he was doing the testing in Red Bull. He showed the Red Bull. It's a different car. It's not the same. Like, do you know what I mean? If you chucked him back in the Red Bull, he'd probably be okay.
Yeah. That's what's so interesting.
It's a whole like deep dive. Like, yeah.
We could go on.
We could film a whole other episode just going on a tangent about these sort of things. Like,
but 200th podium for Lewis.
How good?
I feel like it got swept under the rug. So many things.
Like, meh. Absolutely insane.
Yeah,
I'm not even Lewis Hamilton girly. Like, I don't hate him, but I just don't love him. Like, I don't have an opinion on him really. You know what I mean? Like, the whole situation where everyone's like, oh, Max Verstappen dominance is so boring, but like you all loved Lewis. No, I didn't. I was born with him too. and I'm still bored. Like, it's got nothing to do with the fact that it's just Max. And I'm like, I was bored as heck, but like I'm still so excited for these like milestones he's hitting.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, even with like Max, I'm so scared for the day they all start to like completely overtake every single record that like the old school drivers have set. Like the day Michael Schumacher or like someone like that doesn't hold any records, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. Like
there was one where I think Max was gonna take a record from Senna, and I was like, oh, don't you dare.
Yeah, I was like, calm down.
Don't.
It feels wrong.
Yeah.
I've gone also a whole tangent about Senna. I'm going hit or miss on him as well. I'm like, yeah, you were like, he wasn't even that great of a driver, let's be real. He was okay. But like, just him as a person. And I'm like, I don't want to bring that into like his skills either, but I'm also like, you guys are glorifying this man, and he just really wasn't all that great. Glorify
They're
him
just dudes,
not a person, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think about that a lot, is they're just boys. Like that's why Max stayed up all night playing video games. Like, he's just a boy.
Yeah.
They're literally just toddlers in a fast car. Like, all they want to do is
go fast.
Their job as Ken is drive.
Yeah. Car.
Yeah. Drive.
Like
racer Barbie.
Yeah.
Racing.
Yeah, literally. I don't think people understand that, and they just look past that, but it drives me insane.
Yeah. But oh my god, yeah. I'm still hung up on McLaren.
I know.
There's so much
bittersweet. They couldn't win. No matter which driver they pushed through for that win, it was a lose-lose situation. Somebody
after the strategy call at the second pit.
Yeah.
No one was gonna be happy.
They tainted Oscar's win.
Yeah. Poor bloke said sorry.
He apologized.
That's insane. That's insane.
On
a positive note, I freaking love his radio messages. I turned to the girl I was sitting with in the race and I said, "Are you ready?" Yeah, thanks. I said that right. And then he's gone, "Yeah, thank you guys." And I was like, what did I say? I was like, he's calm as anything. He's not excited, no woo, just
he speed walked over to the McLaren guys. It was so controlled. I was like, oh, he's just his first race he won and he's walking.
Yeah.
But even look at him, like I see it on TikTok a lot, comparison with his earlier seasons in F2 and stuff. But even when he won F2, he was like, woo.
Yeah.
Super like excited.
But a little bit more emotion.
Yeah.
He's
it's
like
literally Kimi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the Bois is now. Yep.
Yeah.
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 It's so
I love when he was lining up after the red flag in quali and his engineer was like, oh, there's a V car behind you. Don't know if it's Daniel or Yuki. And Oscar was like, well, I don't think Yuki has any wheels, so I think it's Daniel. And he was like, oh yeah, good shout.
What?
I love him. Yeah.
Well, just that, like, after, I think it was in that same, when he was waiting after the red flag, they were talking to him. It might have been during the same radio, and he looks at the little camera in, like, the steering wheel, and he just opens his eyes real big, and it's because it's just this. He's so funny.
It's so scary. Oh my God. I don't know if I ended up sending you. If I haven't, I'm going to send it to you after this. But there was this TikTok that popped up, and it was like that driver's press conference from years ago where Alonso and Lewis were like, oh, I'll be concerned if the driver from 2000 beats us. And then it was just that video of Oscar going from last year.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, and then like a little Oscar Piastri at it. It was so funny. It was so
oh my God.
That's actually insane.
Yeah. He's going to be, that's crazy that he's already broken a record or set a record because he's the first driver born after 2000 to win a race. But also it took him, I think I saw on LinkedIn or something.
70 something?
Yeah.
Or 50 something? Yeah.
Less races than Mark Webber, I think, to get a win.
To be fair, Mark Webber was a little bit. I think Oscar Piastri is going to be like the next Lewis Hamilton sort of thing. Maybe not so many championships, but like he's been literally even in his rookie season. Once McLaren got their shit together, bro was proving like a
Yeah.
fucking sprint win in his rookie season.
Yeah.
Like I know
reckon
a win, but like that's insane.
Yeah. I've been saying since he kind of started that Lando is the next Seb because he's a little bit hot-headed. Now that he's won, he seems a bit selfish. He's a bit hot-headed, a little bit more confident now to disobey team orders.
Yeah.
I think Oscar has always had like a cool, calm Lewis Hamilton kind of humble persona, and I think that he will be that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Those speaking of that, like call to switch back, his radio is insane, and like speeding up. That's so childish. I cackled at me because I couldn't hear it when I was watching it the first time. When I rewatched it yesterday with mum, all I could hear was the "Okay, Lando, you've made your point." Like,
yeah,
that was really an awkward watch, and like I feel for both drivers because that was solely just a McLaren fuck up. Like that, either driver's fault. But I also know where Lando's coming from because like when you're that close to the championship leader, you need every point you can get. And especially when down finishing in like fifth, you want like those few extra points. I know it's like what 7 points more or something, but it counts.
It counts.
Yeah. My like thoughts on it were it was McLaren's fuck up like through and through. Like they ruined it and then they put both drivers in a very bad position. So it wasn't personally, in my opinion, either driver's fault, the situation, but how it was handled was very poor from Lando because personally I think that he should have just switched back straight after the pits when they got the call, like when they made the call to switch back. It should have been then. And if he had the pace to overtake Oscar, it should have been a battle and he should have won.
Just race.
He won. And they should have just raced instead of dragging up because now it makes Lando look untrustworthy from a team perspective because he commit to one side.
And especially after Australia, they made Oscar give up his position at his home race where he would have been on the podium to Lando. Do you know what I mean? And I think Lando needs to be like, hey, he gave that up for me. I could like give it the win. And that's why I'm so stuck because I get it from both perspectives. But like,
it's no winning. No one's winning there.
Yeah, it was totally a lose-lose situation. And I think it was maybe last race? Like not Hungary, the one before, where McLaren just butchered both strategies and they missed out on the podium altogether.
Yeah, so absolutely trapped.
Yeah.
I think it's a
like they pulled a Ferrari.
It was really like a papaya Ferrari for real.
I did. But I think it's stupid because that Oscar was driving better than Lando in that race, and they butchered Oscar's strategy to put Lando in front. So I don't know. I think it's just Lando was being very childish, and if he had have earned P1, it wouldn't have been a question. But it was the way it all.
Yeah, I guess like this far into the season, you kind of see which driver is more likely to fight for the championship. So I guess like in a way they probably should be prioritizing Lando. But if you want to do that, you probably should have either asked Oscar to switch with Lando earlier on in the race and let him hold position from there, or like you said, let him switch back and then fight for the win.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think McLaren thinks this is horrible. I don't think McLaren thinks Lando has an actual shot at the Drivers' Championship. I think that's what they said in this race. But I don't think that that's necessarily true. Like, I think if they wanted to show favoritism and make Lando their golden boy, and Lando keeps driving consistently and doesn't fumble the bag like he has the couple last starts, that I don't know what it happens. He either has, like, he's really good at getting there, and then once he's there, it just slips through and he has to catch it. He can't hold on to the solid, like, top of a race the whole time, I feel like. And I think that was McLaren's sake, but I think he has a chance. If they wanted to commit, I think he could do it with the direction that the RB is going.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably really hard to stomach because I also think Lando wants it, which is the hardest part. Like, I think he wants it and he thinks, I mean, they all think they're the best. They have to, that's the sport. But like, obviously in Lando's head, like he needs it.
Yeah. And like,
that's
he's only upset that he's losing to Max because he feels like he's in that championship fight. So that's what happened.
Yeah. I think now that you say that, I wonder if they think that they have a better shot winning a championship with Oscar, just because, I mean, he's 18 months into his F1 career and he's kind of had better results than Lando already.
Like, I feel like regardless, Lando's already up there. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's already sort of cemented this deep into the season. I'm the one who's gonna win it if either of us. Do you know what I mean? And like, they can't sudden switch and go, yeah, let's push Oscar. He's too far back. Like, where's he sitting in the championship? Because like, I don't know.
He's not.
Where is he?
He's not. Like, he's not up there. He's not even in the top 3.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Maybe 4 even. I'm not sure.
Do you know what I mean? He's 110 points behind Max. You know what I mean? Whereas Lando's only like 70 something.
He's getting there. Yeah. Devastating when he passed Charles. Just have to say. But I don't know. I that's what I think was kind of the implicit message, was like, you know, give it to Oscar. We don't think you can win the whole thing, but we can win it as a team. Like, I think that was what they said. They were like, you don't win a championship alone. You win as a team, which I was like, that's loaded. Maybe.
Yeah.
But exactly.
I was with like bloody Oscar winning the race over Lando. He's not going to win the Drivers' Championship because of that, is he?
Yeah. Well, Stella actually said at the end of the race, he was in an interview, and he actually said, like, McLaren's biggest moral or biggest value is teamwork, and if we don't have drivers that can value teamwork, like, they may not have a place in McLaren or something like that. I can't remember word for word, but that was the vibe of what he said, was if you don't prioritize the team, then this isn't your team, that's the team for you. And I was like, whoa.
That's a loaded sentiment.
And I mean, like, ignoring his own point. If they were so concerned about teamwork, they would have teamworked Lando to the Drivers' Champion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I get that's really cool that Oscar got his first F1 win. Like, that's really good. And like, that's really good for Oscar. But if they solely just said, hey, you've got a shot at a win, let's just give it to you for the sake of it, I feel like that's not teamwork, is it? Teamwork would be the driver that's actually got a chance.
Yeah. Like, he deserved it all race. He held the position, and it was McLaren that ruined it. But like I said, if they had have battled and the winner came out P1, it would have been completely fine, and there wouldn't have been any worry in the fan base. But I do think that if Oscar didn't have that little bit of a slip coming after his pit stop, he would have caught Lando, and it wouldn't have been
an issue
as long,
so painful.
Yeah, because he obviously had not damage, but he kind of ruined his rears when he slid out there going into the gravel. So I think that really impacted the push. That's what Lando said. He was like, tell him to catch up, and I was like,
which, I mean, and I guess it's like fair too, because I know the Ferraris have had that argument of like, he can pass me if he can catch me, and then they can't, and they're like, well, okay then.
But that puts, like, such a difficult place with Lewis behind them as well. Like, thankfully he was so far behind, but if Lando's down that much, you know what I mean, Lewis could take 1 and 2 off of them. Like, do you know what I mean?
And he did slow down. Like, when you look at Oscar's onboard when he overtakes
Lando,
Lando looked like he stopped.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know if that was a little like Suki protest thing, but I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. I think it was definitely a little bit of sass too.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it was also tough watching, I mean, Nico Rosberg interview them, and he asks Lando, like, we thought you weren't going to give the position back for a second there, and Lando just goes, they asked me to do it, so I did. And Nico was just like, I'm not going to press more on that.
Mom was yelling at the TV. She was like, but you had a suck about it. I was like, I was like, but he's not wrong. He did give it to him. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's such simple.
Yeah. It makes it tricky for Oscar then, because then he's also like, but I kind of just got given my first win.
Yeah.
Everyone's debate for the end of time is going to be. Like, that's what everyone's Carlos Sainz is. He's never earned a win. He's been handed.
Same with, I mean, you can kind of say the same about Lando though, with the safety car in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can say the
kind
same
of
about
lucky.
You can say about so many people.
You can even say it about Max's first world championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that because of the freaking FIA.
It all comes down to, like, if you have the chance, take it kind of thing.
That's the game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, and it's the same in any sport. Like, if you are playing soccer and like it's penalty shootout and your goalie just absolutely misjudges the shot and like they lose it. Like, it just is what it is. Those are the rules.
How it works.
They took advantage of the rules and the situation and they won because of it. So it's just sport, but it just sucks. Sometimes.
I mean, you brought up Carlos Sainz and George Russell in the one sentence. I have to bring this up every chance I get. Like, I've definitely said it to both of you before, but it still blows my mind every time. The fact that every time Carlos wins, George crashes on the last lap. Like, hey,
that's wild.
Like, how does that happen? Like, and the funny thing is, I feel like those 3 times are the only times he has crashed on the last lap, and it's the only 3 times. Like, it's not even just like he regularly crashes on the last lap. It's just it really messes with my head. I'm like, how does that work?
Well, that was like for a while there. Max was losing or didn't come first in all the races starting with M.
Yeah,
and everyone was like, "What?"
Canada.
It was like Melbourne, Miami.
Oh yeah.
Monaco.
Or did he win? Monaco.
No,
and then it was Monza, and everyone was like, "He's not going to win," and then he won.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Well, also
because Imola was like, I know Imola is like a very different track to Monza, but it's also kind of similar. The Italian tracks are so like not tough, I guess. Monza's not like tough, but like tough. Do you know what I mean? Like, your battles there.
Like their own.
Ferrari's battle again. That stressed me out last year, but I want to see it. Do it again.
Last year was when they like both locked up into like turn. It was like one of the last few turns, and they were like, "Oh,
that was scary." I really.
When is it? Oh,
August.
Yeah, I'm glad for the halos, honestly, in some of these crashes. Like, it's not F1, but Pato O'Ward in IndyCar just had a nasty crash.
Yeah.
And some other car went over his and landed like upside down. I'm like, if it wasn't for the halo, like, goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy. So thank
like,
goodness they have.
But they look ugly. Okay.
I don't care. I would rather they be alive.
Yeah.
Okay, and
like, but they look
ugly when they're not.
Yeah. Insane. It's worth it though.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess we need to wrap this up with our predictions for Spa. I don't even know whether this is realistic or not, but I think Lando is going to come back and win it. I feel like we've got Lando on top in Spa. I think Oscar's going to be P2. And I think Max. Don't ask me why, but I'm going to say that's my realistic one. The Red Bull's doing like not bad, not too good. So I feel like that could be realistic. Unrealistic, we've got Pierre Gasly. He's going to go from a DNF to a win. And then we've got Denny Rick. And then, oh my God, I just realized what I said. Pierre winning in Spa. Oh no, that's cry. Could you imagine?
He would actually cry. I think everyone would
be able to get out of his car. I think he'd be sobbing. Fuck, I didn't even, I swear to God, I didn't mean to do that. I was just like, no, he DNF'd, he's going to win. Oh! All right, yeah, okay, I changed my mind. Pierre on top, Charles second, then Denny. That's my unrealistic. But it's going to happen. Yeah. I think so.
I think, realistic. I think you're right with Lando. I think he might come out P1, but I think it might be a Max Oscar.
Yeah. I feel like that's
I think
realistic, but I'm like, I want a champion.
Yeah.
I want like a 2021 championship battle where it's like right until the last races. I got one 10 years earlier.
Yeah, no, I agree. Unrealistic, I think I want to do a Ferrari 1-2, Charles, then Carlos, and then P3.
God. I'm just kidding.
No, it's because I had the leaderboard up next to me, and he was Carlos at the top of the screen. But yeah, Charles P1, Carlos P2. We'll do a Ferrari lockout, and then I think maybe I would like to see Piastri on there, but I reckon maybe a Hamilton.
Yeah.
Get all the Ferrari boys up there.
I think it's even funnier if like Hamilton like kicked Carlos off that P2 and he was like, like I got your seat and your podium place. What do you think about that? Like,
I must say, like with Mercedes running faster than Ferrari lately, like
he must be shitting himself.
Yeah. But I mean, is it? Yeah. Anyway,
next year is our year. 2025 is Ferrari's year. In all seriousness. Well, I'm excited for what you've got, Sophia. I feel like you've got something really unhinged for your unrealistic.
It's actually extremely realistic. I'll start with my unrealistic. It's a little bit of a daydream, but my unrealistic, I put Lewis at the top.
Whoa, that could happen.
Well, I'm thinking because it could rain.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's what makes it slightly more realistic. But then I've got Charles and Carlos because I love them. I want to see. I mean, that being said, I put Charles on my realistic too because I need to see him back on the podium. Beautiful boy. But my realistic, I've put Max back at the top. Just, I think, I don't know. Maybe I should have changed the orders. Maybe this is my unrealistic one. The Lando is P2 and I've put Charles P3 because he's been close. He was close. I mean, he's got screwed by strategy the past couple times.
Yeah. He's pretty good at Spa though. Like they are pretty good at Spa.
Yeah, like outside of that, I don't know. I feel like if we can't have a fight for the top spot in the drivers, then maybe we can have a fight for the second spot in the drivers. So
well, it was like that until I think it was only like the last race of last season that the second was decided, wasn't it? Or maybe that was constructed. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But those are mine that I.
Yeah.
Pardon?
I just pulled them out.
Between Perez and Charles last year.
Yeah.
For P2. And I think it was pretty close.
Mercedes and Ferrari were fighting for constructors.
Yeah.
Last thing, can we just do like a moment of silence for Checo really quick? Because I'm sad. That poor man. All right.
That's all I get.
Sorry.
Feel for him. Poor lad.
Like
but also at the time, just like do better.
Yeah.
Like he's been in the sport for like 14 years. Like, come on.
Better. I think it's time to go. Yeah. Maybe he should just retire going into the summer break. Go on your own terms.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun.
That was I nearly said Belgium. That was our Hungary review. Look forward. Is next week Spa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's race week already.
Oh, it's race week, baby. I'll see you next week for Belgium.